Picture this. It's 7:43 a.m. Chris, 28 years old, smart, talented, full of potential, is lying in bed staring at the ceiling. His alarm went off at 6:30. He snoozed it 4 times. He knows he has a presentation at work he hasn't finished. He knows he promised himself he'd start going to the gym this week. He knows, deep in his gut, that he's been saying the same things to himself for 6 months now. He picks up his phone, not to do anything, just to feel less alone with his own thoughts. 40 minutes later, he's watched 3 reels, read a news story that made him anxious, and compared himself to 2 people from high school who seem to have their lives together. He hasn't moved, he hasn't eaten, he's already behind. And the worst part? He feels this low, heavy guilt, like he's been failing at a test he didn't know he was taking. He finally drags himself out of bed, skips breakfast, misses his train, arrives at work already defeated. The presentation goes okay, not great. His boss gives him a look. He tells himself he'll do better tomorrow. But tomorrow looks exactly the same. Here's what Chris didn't know, what most people don't know, is that his problem wasn't his job, his schedule, his motivation, or his talent. It was his mornings. Now here's the uncomfortable question I need you to sit with for a second. How much of Chris's morning sounds like yours? Because if any of it does, the snooze button, the phone, the guilt, the feeling of already being behind before the day has even started, I need you to know something. You are not broken. You are not lazy. You are not stuck. You just haven't been shown what a morning that actually works looks like. And that's exactly what today is about. Because when you fix your mornings, your entire life stops fighting you. Every single day, you wake up and face 2 choices. One that builds your future, and one that keeps you exactly where you are. Most people make the second choice without even realizing it. Today, I'm going to show you 7 morning habits, not just tips, not just hacks, but a complete system that will rewire the way you start your day, and by extension, the way you live your life. Let's get into it. Habit 1. Wake up at the same time every single day. How many times have you told yourself, I'll fix my sleep schedule starting Monday? And Monday comes, maybe you do wake up early, but then Wednesday hits, you stay up late, sleep in to recover, and by the weekend, the whole thing has collapsed. Here's what most people don't understand. Your body runs on something called a circadian rhythm, your internal biological clock. And that clock doesn't care about your intentions. It only responds to consistency. You don't need to wake up at 4 a.m. That's not the point. You need to wake up at the same time, whether it's 5:30, 6:30, or 7. The specific hour matters far less than the consistency. Think about it like this. If you eat lunch at 12:30 every day for a few weeks, your body starts to feel hungry at 12:30, even before you check the time. It learned the pattern. Your sleep works exactly the same way. When you wake up at the same time every day, your body stops fighting the alarm. It starts preparing to wake up before the alarm even sounds. You open your eyes, and instead of feeling like you got hit by a bus, you feel ready, alert, like the day is waiting for you instead of running away from you. But here's the deeper lesson nobody talks about. This habit isn't just about sleep. When you master your wake-up time, you prove something to yourself. You prove you are capable of making a decision and sticking to it. The person who can't keep a simple promise to themselves at 6 a.m. will struggle to keep bigger promises all day long. A disciplined morning doesn't just start your day, it defines who you are. Start tomorrow. Pick a time. Set the alarm. Don't touch snooze. Habit 2. No phone for the first hour. The moment your alarm goes off, what do? Be honest. You reach for your phone. Maybe you tell yourself you're just checking the time, but then there's a notification, a text, a news headline, and suddenly your brain, which was quiet and rested 30 seconds ago, is processing 50 different inputs at once. Here's what's actually happening neurologically. Your brain wakes up in a slow, calm alpha wave state. It's open, it's creative, it's primed for deep thinking. That first hour is the most neurologically powerful hour of your entire day. And you're handing it over to algorithms designed by billion-dollar companies whose entire job is to hijack your attention. Within 5 minutes of picking up your phone, your brain shifts into a reactive, high cortisol stress state. You're anxious before you've had a sip of water. You're comparing yourself to strangers before you've looked in the mirror. You're already living on someone else's agenda before you've thought about your own. And then you wonder why the rest of the day feels hard. So here's the rule. No phone for the first hour. Period. Instead, do this. Make your bed first. It's a small win that builds momentum. Then drink a full glass of water because you just spent 8 hours without hydration and your brain is literally dehydrated right now. Then get into natural light. Even 2 minutes outside signals to your brain that the day has started, suppresses melatonin, and boosts serotonin faster than any coffee. The person who wins the first hour has already won the day. Guard it like it's the most valuable thing you own. Because it is. Habit 3. Move your body. No excuses, no exceptions. It's 8:30 a.m. You're at your desk. You feel foggy. You're on your third coffee and still can't focus. You've been staring at the same email for 20 minutes. Here's why. You woke up, sat in bed scrolling, walked to the kitchen and sat down to eat, then walked to your desk and sat down again. In 2 hours, you have barely moved. Your blood is moving slowly. Your brain is oxygen deprived. Your body is still in low power mode. You were not designed to sit still. You were designed to move. And when you don't move in the morning, you're sending your brain a message. We're still resting. Stay offline. Then you're surprised when you can't think clearly. Movement in the morning isn't about fitness. It's not about calories or six-packs. It's about activation, flipping your system from offline to fully online. 10 push-ups, a 5-minute walk around the block, 3 minutes of stretching. It doesn't matter. The moment you move, endorphins flood in, oxygen rises, blood flows to the prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain responsible for focus, decision-making, and creativity, and you feel a shift, a real one. It happens fast. Motion creates emotion. The state of your body determines the state of your mind. Every high-performing human on this planet moves in the morning, not because they have to, because they know what it unlocks. 10 minutes. That's all it takes. Control your body, and you control your day. Habit 4. Eat protein at breakfast. Let's talk about what most people actually eat in the morning. A bowl of cereal, a piece of toast, a granola bar grabbed on the way out the door, maybe a sugary coffee drink that's basically a milkshake with a shot of espresso. It feels fine. You get a little burst of energy, and then by 10 a.m. you crash. Hard. You're irritable. You can't focus. You're already reaching for snacks. This isn't a willpower problem. It's a biology problem. Sugar gives you a spike. Protein gives you control. When you eat refined carbs first thing in the morning, your blood sugar shoots up rapidly and then crashes just as fast. That crash is why you feel foggy and unfocused 2 hours after eating. Protein works completely differently. It stabilizes your blood sugar, slows digestion, keeps you full for hours, and increases the production of dopamine and norepinephrine, the neurotransmitters responsible for focus and motivation. Eggs, Greek yogurt, a protein shake, cottage cheese, whatever works for your life. The point is simple. You are fueling a high-performance system, and it deserves better than sugar and air. Because how you feel yourself reflects how you value yourself. If you eat like you don't matter, you'll live like you don't matter. And you do matter. Start acting like it, one breakfast at a time. Habit 5. Do your mindset work. This is the habit that separates people who know what to do from people who actually do it. You can have a perfect morning routine on paper, but if your mind is still running the same old software, the same limiting beliefs, the same anxious inner voice, the same "I'm not good enough, smart enough, or ready enough" story, none of the other habits will save you. Your mindset is the operating system. Everything else is just the apps. Mindset work looks different for everyone. Journaling, getting the noise out of your head and onto paper where you can actually see it and question it. Reading something that challenges what you believe is possible. Affirmations, visualization, meditation. What all of these have in common is that they require you to be intentional about your inner world before the outer world gets loud. Because the world will get loud. Your inbox will fill up. Demands will come in. Plans will change. And in those moments, the version of you who spent 15 minutes actively cultivating a strong mindset in the morning will respond completely differently than the version who just stumbled into the day. Try this. Every morning, write down 3 things you're grateful for. Not because gratitude is trendy, but because it neurologically shifts your brain from threat mode to possibility mode. Then write 1 sentence about who you're choosing to be today. Today, I choose to be focused and present. That's it. 15 seconds. But it sets an intention that quietly shapes every decision you make after that. Your thoughts in the morning become the narrative of your day. Write a good one. Habit 6. Plan at night and execute in the morning. Here's a mistake almost everyone makes. They finish their morning routine, sit down to start working, and then spend 20 minutes figuring out what to do first. Decision fatigue is real, and it starts before you've done a single productive thing. Every morning you spend choosing what to work on is a morning wasted. The solution is simple. Your morning plan should already exist before you go to sleep. Every night, even 5 minutes, write down your top 3 priorities for the next day. Not your entire to-do list, just 3 things that, if completed, would make the day a genuine success. Then, when you wake up, there's no negotiation, no deliberating, no, should I do this or that first? You already know. You just execute. This is how productive people seem to get so much done while others are still figuring out where to start. They remove the thinking from the doing. They separate strategy from execution. They plan at night so that morning is purely action. Your morning is for doing. Plan at night, execute in the morning. And now we come to the habit that most people intellectually agree with and emotionally avoid with their entire being. And this is where I want to tell you about James. James had been working on a business idea for almost a year. He had the concept, he had the notes, he had a half-finished website sitting in a tab on his laptop that he opened every morning and then quietly minimized when the anxiety got too loud. He told himself he'd work on it when he had more time, when things at work calmed down, when he felt more confident, when the moment was right. Every morning, James would sit down at his desk with the full intention of finally making progress on his dream, and every morning he'd answer emails first, then check Slack, then reorganize his task list, then take a 5-minute break that turned into scrolling, and by the time he looked up, it was noon and the day felt too fragmented to start something big. This went on for months. Not because James was lazy, not because he didn't care, but because his brain, like all of our brains, is wired to seek comfort and avoid the discomfort of doing something that matters and might fail. Then one day, James made one small rule. Before email, before Slack, before anything, he would open that website and work on it for 30 minutes. Just 30 minutes. And he would do it while his brain was still fresh, before the day had a chance to negotiate him out of it. 3 weeks later, his website was live. 6 weeks later, he had his first customer. Not because James changed who he was, but because he changed when he did the thing that mattered. Here's the science behind why. Your willpower is a battery. It's fully charged in the morning, and every decision, no matter how small, drains it. By afternoon, your reserves are low, and that's when the hard task feels genuinely impossible. So do it first. Before email, before meetings, before your brain has time to build a case against it. Attack the most important task when your mind is sharpest and your willpower is strongest. Do the thing you've been avoiding, the thing that scares you a little because it matters a lot. Do it before 10 a.m. every single day. This is how the life you actually want gets built. The close. Full circle. Remember Chris from the beginning? The 28-year-old lying in bed, staring at the ceiling, already behind before his day even started? I want to tell you what happened to him. He didn't overhaul his entire life overnight. He didn't wake up one day magically motivated. He just started with one habit. He set an alarm for the same time every morning and committed to not touching his phone for the first hour. That's it. The first week was uncomfortable. The second week got easier. By the third week, something had shifted. He started making his bed.
drinking water, moving his body for 10 minutes, and slowly, one habit at a time, his mornings stopped feeling like something that was happening to him and started feeling like something he was intentionally choosing. 6 months later, Chris finished the project he'd been avoiding for a year. He got a promotion, not because he worked harder, but because he showed up sharper and more focused than anyone around him. He stopped feeling guilty at 7:43 a.m. because he was already an hour into his day before most people had opened their eyes. His life didn't change because some magical opportunity appeared. It changed because he changed his mornings. And here's the truth I want to leave you with. The life you want is not waiting for you to feel ready. It's not waiting for the right moment, the right season. It's being built, or not being built, every morning in the quiet, unglamorous, unsexy decisions you make when no one is watching. You don't need motivation, you need repetition. Brick by brick, morning by morning, habit by habit. Chris did it, James did it, and so can you. So, here's your challenge. Tomorrow morning, choose just one habit from this list, the one that resonated, the one that scared you a little, the one you've been avoiding. Commit to it for 7 days, then come back and tell me what changed. Comment "I'm ready" below if you're committing to your mornings starting now, and subscribe because this is where we don't just talk about discipline, we build it together. Your future is being built every morning. Make sure you're the one building it.